Piled up layers of lipids reside throughout my body, anchoring themselves tightly to my flesh, hugging the health out of me as I sink into the depths of discomfort, as I sink into the depth of comfort. Empty soul stays physically hungry, devouring myself into depression, as the mind starts to grow numb from this whole ordeal. This corpulence mimics the molecules of cholesterol that clog in my arteries that just no longer move throughout. I'm stuck, wanting to break free, but defeated and thinking I'm imprisoned in my own walls. My name is Lorenz Mazon Damuk from San Jose. Born in Frisco actually, but ever since I was one, lived in San Jose my whole life. I started falling in love with writing when my parents had a karaoke machine, -1, and back in the days when it was still tape and 8-track, they gave you the lyrics to the songs, so you had to read them and stuff like that. And so I always had to memorize all these words just so I could sing a song, all good. And then next thing you know, I started reading all these lyrics, and I started falling in love with music lyrics. As an adult, you start learning how to be honest with your writing, you know, and I think that's when writing becomes scary, and that's when writing becomes real, I think. You know, that's when you learn some of the true value of what writing is. You know, it's not just about falling in love with words, it's not just about falling in love with all these images. You know, in a sense, art kind of puts you in check, so you learn how to, almost in a sense, fall in love with yourself. When you love yourself, sometimes you also learn what you're hating about yourself. So it's such a real thing, and I think discovering writing, you always have to I always find myself humbling myself to my own art, because I think the moment you become satisfied, the moment you become content with your work, you know, it has no reason to grow, you know. And I think the reason I continue on, because it keeps you growing, you know. I think through writing, I think I died 1,000 times just from writing, just from art. You know, no matter what type of art, just because, like, either the dying of not knowing what to write, or just the dying act of finding the truth in yourself, you know. And with this piece, the one I was asked to pick was called Fat. You know, this is from my book Ay Nako. It was one of the last poems to be in that book, because I was looking at it and I said, oh, gosh, I was all it needs a poem, something that sticks out there, something that's me. And I figured put something like that poem Fat, which represents that writing through the struggle, you know, which represents, you know, kind of what I've been through as a writer. One of the things I give big ups to is, like, reading all these female writers who talk about body images, you know. I would read short stories and essays, and I would say, like, there's not enough male writers kind of honestly talking about body images as much. Usually the insecurities is something completely different, you know. So I really wanted to tackle on that whole obesity image, and I'm glad I got to share it, because that was never intended to share. But, you know, one of my friends told me, if you write it, it deserves to be shared.